Right now at 5, a deadly joint strike by the U.S. and Israel targeting Iranian leadership.
To the great, proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand.
As the world tenses up for what could come next, with people denouncing as well as celebrating the airstrikes.
Let them know that this is not acceptable to not only just to us as an organization, but to the American people at large.
This regime, the Islamic Republic, was murdering innocent civilians.
President Trump declaring the leader of Iran is dead after an overnight strike on that country by the U.S. and Israel. He says he believes many other decision makers are also dead. NBC's Alice Barr has details on the attack that started hours ago and hasn't let up.
In an explosion of violence in Iran, the U.S. and Israel launching airstrikes targeting the country's missile and nuclear programs and senior leadership, with President Trump now saying Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is dead. Iran has not confirmed that. He has led an intensely repressive regime in Iran for nearly 40 years. Earlier today, President Trump spoke directly to the Iranian people.
When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take.
Iran's foreign minister had pushed back in an NBC News interview this morning.
Well, I think this is mission impossible. For regime change.
Iran is retaliating, firing attacks toward Israel and U.S. military bases in the region. President Trump monitoring closely with his national security team and speaking with Israel's prime minister, who argued this war will lead to true peace. Senior Trump administration officials telling reporters Iran was threatening American forces in the region with potential missile strikes, and the U.S. acted preemptively with the long-term goal of preventing Iran from rebuilding its nuclear program after U.S. and Israeli strikes last year. The president saying diplomacy was not working in ongoing nuclear talks.
We will ensure that Iran does not obtain a nuclear weapon. It's a very simple message.
Anti-war demonstrations breaking out in American cities as the world waits for what's next. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
The U.S. State Department has issued a worldwide travel caution, warning of disruptions and airspace closures with the launch of combat operations in Iran. It says, quote, Americans worldwide and especially in the Middle East should follow the guidance and the latest security alerts issued by the nearest U.S. embassy or consulate. The State Department specifically advises U.S. citizens in many Middle Eastern countries to be prepared to shelter in place. The reaction to the airstrikes was swift at all levels. Most of Oregon's congressional delegation denouncing the actions by Israel in the Trump administration, several calling on Congress to pass a resolution to limit the president's power to declare war on Iran. There's also been a local response, with local group Portland for Palestine staging a rally earlier this afternoon at Pioneer Courthouse Square. More demonstrations are scheduled for Sunday. Our Jake Holter is joining us from the newsroom with more of that local reaction. Hey, Jake.
Hey, John. Yeah, protests popping up across the Portland metro today in response to the strike on Iran by the U.S. and Israel. Those protesters frustrated by yet another escalation in the Middle East.
Extremely disturbing to me.
Just thought, well, here we go again.
Anger and frustration after the U.S. launched strikes in Iran overnight. One protester we talked to says she's feeling deja vu after protesting the Iraq War more than 20 years ago.
I woke up and thought, well, I better grab my No War in Iraq sign and dust that off and change the title.
Iranian media is reporting that dozens were killed in a strike on a girls' school. That has not yet been independently verified by KGW or NBC News.
The news is just, it broke my heart. I work with kids, and any news of anyone, especially children, getting hurt anywhere is it's pretty awful. It's shocking.
We had a deal already. We backed out of it and manufactured a problem. I just don't see why this is helping anybody. It seems pretty obvious that it's a distraction.
Democratic Senator Ron Wyden echoing that sentiment while also calling President Trump a hypocrite when we caught up with him before his town hall.
This is what Donald Trump said he would not do in the 2024 campaign. He said he was not going to be part of forever wars.
Wyden says he wasn't given any heads up that the strikes were going to happen.
I feel very strongly that the Congress should be involved here. That's what the War Powers Act is all about.
Wyden says he believes a War Powers resolution vote should happen next week, and we plan to attend a Free Iran rally tomorrow to hear from Iranian Americans after these strikes. John?
All right, RJ Coulter. Jake, thanks so much for that reporting. Demonstrators gathered in Washington today to show support for the Iranian people and support for U.S. strikes against Iran's military. One organizer described the U.S. attacks as a rescue operation. These demonstrators want to see an end of the Islamic Republic running the country.
We believe this is an rescue operation, not a war, because every day that this rescue operation did not happen, this regime, the Islamic Republic, was murdering innocent civilians.
The website publicizing today's demonstration says the mission is to bring people together to echo the voice of Iranians who recognize an exiled crown prince as the country's legitimate leader. He has said in the past that he can lead Iran to democracy. We'll stay with KGW for the latest surrounding the airstrikes on Iran, threats of retaliation, and the response from here locally. You can also visit our website, kgw.com, or stream us for free on our KGW Plus app. Okay, time to switch gears and talk weather and take a look at that beautiful shot over Portland right now. We had a chilly start to the morning that gave way to a pretty nice Saturday afternoon as we wrap up the month of February with another dry day. Meteorologist Joe Ranieri joining us tonight. Joe, how are we going to start the month of March?
We're going to start off pretty much dry, at least throughout the northern tier of the Willamette Valley. Now, we saw temperatures just above freezing earlier this morning, but those high clouds kind of stuck around a good portion of the day. These showers that we're picking up on the radar are credit to a weak system, I should say, that's moving in over through parts of California right now. So if you're Salem south tonight or tomorrow, you will be looking at some light showers, but here in the Portland metropolitan area, it's going to be pretty much bone dry all day tomorrow and into Monday as well. We do have the Planet Parade tonight. Unfortunately, it's going to be too cloudy to check it out across the Pacific Northwest. Tomorrow, mainly dry again. Showers south of Salem. I'll talk more about the Planet Parade tonight coming up in just a few minutes. But for the first couple of days of March, John, it's going to be really nice. A little bit more of the sunshine heading into the next couple of days as we look at your hour-by-hour forecast. That weak disturbance will still produce some showers along parts of Highway 101, Newport South, but very limited amounts. We're not going to be seeing, a day full of, a bunch of showers, but it'll pick up a little bit throughout parts of southern Oregon. But yeah, the more north you go along I-5, it's going to be more dry than wet. I'll talk more about the changes that will be arriving in for the first week of March coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Joe, thanks so much. Portland police tell us they've arrested a man wanted for killing a 14-year-old boy last fall. It's after reporting to an assault in progress just before 2 this morning near Southeast 37th and Division. Police had formed a perimeter, but the suspect jumped from a second-story window and then ran away. After searching for several hours, officers found him hiding in a trailer. They arrested 25-year-old Akiz Logan. He's accused of killing 14-year-old Marique Roscoe in a shooting back in November. Local police and the U.S. Marshals had been looking for him since then. And we're learning more about a 34-year-old woman whose body was found in the woods in rural Clark County. A man is now charged with her murder. Investigators looked at cell phone records and found the victim, Tori Garza, had posted an escort service advertisement online the day she was last seen. A friend of Garza says they were supposed to meet, but she stopped answering messages.
Everybody has their problems and their vices in life and everything, but I still don't think that means that they should die or anybody has a right to take anybody's life.
Data and surveillance video led them to Woodland, where they arrested 66-year-old Andrew Burnett. Burnett is in the Cowlitz County Jail on charges of murder, patronizing a prostitute, and unlawful disposal of human remains. He's due back in court next week. New developments this week in the city's fight to crack down on the use of tear gas and other munitions at the ICE building. The city will now enforce a new ordinance that fines the owner of detention centers for nuisance violations, including the use of chemical munitions. City Council passed the ordinance in December after hearing from neighbors in a nearby school about how the gas was affecting them. Fines will start at $5,000 for the first offense and go up from there. The ordinance will be in place for 6 months while the city works on a permanent rule. Nearly 100 new trees were added to the Lincoln neighborhood of Vancouver today. Friends of Trees volunteers fanned out in the area this morning to help with the plantings. The staff works with homeowners to decide which trees would work best in their space. The goal is to create a larger canopy to provide shade in the neighborhood, which in turn provides a number of health benefits.
This is vast health benefits, physical and psychological, from trees going into the ground. There's the urban heat island mitigation, there's the watershed benefits, and so to me, as Friends of Trees, there can never be enough trees. We're just so excited to help put in more trees with the help of community volunteers.
If you want to determine if you qualify for free planted trees through the organization, you can enter your information at friendsoftrees.org to check if your home is eligible.